Today, I'm going to try something I've never done before, spending a whole day riding the jeepney, the most iconic public transport in the Philippines. If you've ever been here, you've probably seen them colorful, decorated vehicles that look like small buses, always packed with people. But for Filipinos, this isn't just a ride, it's part of daily life. I've taken buses, trains, and subways in Korea, but the jeepney feels completely different. It has history too, originally converted from old military jeeps after World War II. Now they've become the soul of Philippine transportation. Today, I'll figure out how to catch one, pay my fare, and even talk with locals along the way. It might be confusing, maybe even awkward, but that's the fun part of experiencing something new. So let's see what it feels like to ride the jeepney, not just as a tourist, but like an everyday commuter in the Philippines. Before riding the jeepney, the first challenge is figuring out where to catch it. Unlike buses or subways in Korea, there isn't always a clear station or map. People just know the spots. I asked a local, "Where do I take the jeepney to downtown?" And they pointed me toward a crowded street corner. The jeepneys are impossible to miss: bright colors, chrome decorations, religious phrases, even cartoon characters painted on the sides. Each one looks unique, almost like moving art. I stood there, waiting, feeling a bit lost, but also excited. When the jeepney finally pulled up, people quickly climbed in, passing by me with practiced ease. It was my turn. I stepped inside, ducking my head because the ceiling was low, and found a narrow bench seat. Everyone looked comfortable, but for me it felt tight. Still, there was this atmosphere, like I was joining a rhythm that the locals already understood. This was the real start of my jeepney adventure. As soon as I sat down, the next challenge came: paying the fare. In Korea, you just tap a card at the bus entrance, but in the jeepney, it works totally differently. You hand cash to the person sitting closest, then everyone passes it forward until it finally reaches the driver. A few seconds later, the change travels back the same way. It felt strange at first, but also amazing, this silent teamwork among strangers. I gave my coins to the lady next to me and said, "Bayad po," which means, "Here's my payment." She smiled, passed it forward, and soon I saw the driver nod. A moment later, my change came back right into my hand. No machine, no ticket, just trust. I tried small talk with the people beside me. Simple questions like, "Do you take the jeepney every day?" sparked smiles and short answers. Everyone seemed used to it, like it was just another ordinary ride. But for me, it was more than that. It was a glimpse into everyday Filipino life that tourists rarely experience. As the jeepney started moving, I immediately felt the difference. The ride was bumpy, the engine loud, and the wind blew through the open windows. It wasn't quiet or smooth like a subway in Korea, but it had its own rhythm. I looked out the window and saw everyday Manila street vendors selling fruits, kids in uniforms walking to school, tricycles weaving through traffic. Inside, the atmosphere was casual. People sat shoulder to shoulder, some listening to music on their phones, others chatting softly. No one seemed bothered by the heat or the cramped space. It was just part of daily life. At one point, a passenger smiled at me and asked, "First time?" I nodded, and we both laughed. That small moment made me feel like I wasn't just a visitor, but part of the ride. For me, the jeepney wasn't just transportation. It was like sitting in the middle of the city's heartbeat, chaotic, noisy, but full of life. After spending the whole day on the jeepney, I finally understood why it's more than just transportation. It's cheap, practical, and always there. But it's also a moving piece of Filipino culture. The way people pass money hand to hand, the way strangers sit shoulder to shoulder without complaint, and the way the ride connects different corners of the city. It all shows a sense of community. Of course, it's not perfect. The heat, the crowded space, and the slow pace in traffic can be tiring. But even those challenges are part of its character. For locals, it's routine. For me, it was a reminder that transportation can reflect the values of a society: trust, cooperation, and sharing space. At the end of the day, I felt like I experienced the real Manila, not as a tourist, but as one of the passengers. And that's the beauty of the jeepney. So, if you had the chance, would you want to ride one?